Into a very special Monday. The bracket was revealed yesterday, so we are going to go through every game of the first round of the NCAA tournament in this show. Welcome into Butt Fumble Sports, a sports content company created by a sports fan for you sports fans at home. Not our normal background, we're in a different location today, but hopefully that does not change anything about our show, just the background behind me, because we have so many things to get to. We'll talk NBA picks, we'll talk NHL picks, we're going to do player prop bet research as well, but of course, NCAA tournament. We are going to go through every game of the NCAA tournament doing our research. I decided I could do this one of two ways. Do my research off the air or do my research live in front of you guys, and I decided to opt for the latter. So we are going to do NBA player prop bets first. I'm going to give out my picks for today. That's the Monday picks for the NBA and the NHL. So we're just going to give away our game picks right away. We'll do some player prop bet research, and then we are going to go through all the games, all 32 games of the first round of the NCAA tournament. We might actually wait to fill out a couple of them because we won't know the play-in matchups yet, but we're obviously going to talk about those as well. So welcome into the show, everyone. Welcome to Butt Fumble Sports. A lot to obviously talk about in the next 24, 48 hours as we prepare for the tournament and to get our brackets ready. If you have not done so already, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. We're live almost every single day talking sports, doing sports betting research, and of course, helping you guys out with fantasy sports as well. Great to see so many familiar handles in the chat like Jennifer. If you guys have any topics you want to talk about or anything you guys want to cover tonight, make sure you hit us up because I'm definitely up for helping you guys out. We're going to be live for a while tonight, so it should be a great show, should have a lot going on. Make sure that you guys get your voice heard throughout the entirety of it. With that said, we are going to give out our picks right away. Like I said, we're not going to wait around to give out our picks for tonight's show. Because I want to do the NCAA tournament breakdown, we're going to give away our picks right now. Here we go. Here are all of my NBA picks. I've researched this earlier today, so make sure you guys listen up because here come all of our NBA game picks. First one, obvious one, is the Celtics on the money line. However, a lot of the Celtics are out on this one. Celtics have a lot of players that are either out or are questionable, so you may want to take the Pistons at something crazy like a plus 17.5 that actually is available in some places, plus 18.5, something like that. Might be something you guys want to consider just given the lineup that the Celtics are going to be rolling out there tonight. Additionally, something I really like is Celtics and Pistons to hit the under. Under, I got it at 228.5. That's where I would really like to see you guys take it. Under 230.5 in a parlay. That might have changed with all the injury report updates that have since come out when I first looked at this game. Next game I like is the Heat plus 5.5. I would consider the Heat at also plus 4.5. So that's the Miami Heat to cover tonight. I like them to cover in Philadelphia. I'd also take Heat and 76ers on the under 213.5 is where I would take it. I'll keep going and I'll recap these in a moment. Next pick I have is Bulls on the money line against the Trailblazers. Bulls on the money line, but I would take the Trailblazers and the Bulls to hit their over 208.5. That's Bulls money line, Trailblazers, Bulls over 208.5. Next one I like the Timberwolves to cover by 3.5 points. That's Timberwolves minus 3.5. You may want to consider them on the money line just to put it into some parlays. Same goes with the Celtics on the money line. Not a lot of value there, so you may just want to take it and put it into a parlay, 2-3 leg parlay. Next pick that we're giving out, I like the Warriors minus 2.5. Warriors minus 2.5. Again, you might want to put them into a parlay on the money line, but Warriors minus 2.5 I like. I like the Knicks and the Warriors. I would take the under. I'm a little bit nervous about this. No OG Anunoby. OG is out tonight. Steph Curry is playing. So maybe the Knicks don't have the same defensive shutdown opportunity that they normally do, but I still like the under in this game. I would take it under 216.5, though that isn't really as good a play as if OG were in the lineup. Additionally, two more picks for you. I like Lakers on the money line. Lakers on the money line. And finally, Hawks and Lakers over 219.5. So we just gave out a bunch of NBA game picks. If you guys miss any of my picks, I give them away for free every day. I know there are a lot of accounts on social media that do sports betting research. I don't know why they would ever charge you for a pick. I give away my picks for free. So just DM me on Instagram if you want to get every bet I make every day for free. My picks are based on data, trends, matchups, and I never charge for them. So DM me on Instagram if you want to get every bet that I make every single day for free. Additionally, we have a couple more picks I want to give out. This is for the NHL. I like the Flames on the money line. Flames on the money line. And I like Capitals and Flames to go over 5.5. So the two NHL picks I have for tonight, Flames on the money line, Capitals, Flames over 5.5. D. Turner, one of my favorites, is asking a question, changing it up from some of our picks. I'll let everyone digest that, but let's see what D. Turner wants to talk about. Thoughts on what the Patriots will do in the draft? I'm thinking McCarthy or Daniels. I think it's going to be Drake May or Jaden Daniels. If I'm a Patriots fan, I'm praying that somehow Drake May gets drafted number 2. Doesn't feel like that's going to be the case. I get the sense by how the Commanders are operating in free agency that Jaden Daniels will most likely be the number 2 pick. That leaves, obviously, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy. Supposedly, J.J. McCarthy is that number 4 quarterback. I'm not big on J.J. McCarthy. A lot of people are trying to talk me into him because he's a winner. I just didn't see the actual quarterbacking talent at Michigan that I'd want to see. I'd rather take a flyer on Drake May, who's still very young. If I'm the Patriots, I draft Drake May. I sit him behind Jacoby Brissett. I actually think that's where you should go. Everyone makes the comparison between Drake May and Justin Herbert. If the Patriots could look 3 years into the future and have a Justin Herbert type quarterback, I think they'd be thrilled. So I think Drake May is where the Patriots should go if Jaden Daniels isn't on the board. I prefer Jaden Daniels for the Patriots. Just don't feel like that's what's going to happen. D. Turner, I'm with you. That's where I'd be praying. Shane, I like Penix over both of them. The only issue with Penix, and this is why Penix's draft stock's going to fall, he has a bad history with injuries, and I think he's a little bit older, and he's got injury history, and I think some teams are going to be kind of risk-averse with him. The team that I would really love to see him go to is the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings would be a great fit. Ben, I think the Vikings want to trade up for Drake May. I just don't get the sense right now that they're going to be able to, even with those first 2-round picks. I get the sense the Patriots are going to draft a quarterback. But that said, Penix can sling it. I'd love to see Penix in Minnesota. I actually think that he could really fit there because they already have wide receiver talent. He can throw deep. It's just about protecting him. That's the most important thing. Okay, the order of things for tonight's show. We are going to do NBA player prop bet research next. Then we are going to do our college basketball men's bracket. So how are we going to approach things? We're going to continue to answer questions. Name wants me to talk about the Seahawks for a minute, so I'm going to. If you guys want to talk about any sports topics, I love ranting about sports, so certainly throw them in the comment section or the chat. That goes for those on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. But additionally, we are also going to do some research. Really quick over on YouTube. El Pinche, are you still planning on doing fantasy baseball stuff? Yes, we are. We will be doing fantasy baseball stuff. El Pinche, I actually want to put this out there to you guys. We are going to do some fantasy baseball stuff this week. I'm thinking Wednesday is going to be a big fantasy baseball day, actually. So if you guys are around on Wednesday, DM me, hit me up on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports, if any of you guys want to do some fantasy baseball where you guys can actually win money. So we use Rival Fantasy. They sponsor all the fantasy stuff that we do on the show. So we're going to be doing a lot of Rival Fantasy baseball challenges as well as basketball challenges moving forward. So if you guys want to get in on that, DM me on Instagram. Top Dog. Oh, missed you, buddy. Great to see you. Finally caught up. It's been a minute. Great to see you, Top Dog. El Pinche is also saying Patriots trade back to Denver. I don't see that being the case. I think if the Patriots do trade back, it's going to be Drake May. Cesar Torres, no pick for Cleveland and Indy. So Cesar, I actually do have one pick for that. I'm going to add it. I was thinking about this. No Donovan Mitchell in this game, so I will take Pacers on the money line. Pacers on the money line. I'm actually adding that one because there is no Donovan Mitchell. So Cesar Torres, I am adding in the Pacers as another pick. A couple people have some questions over here on TikTok. name. Isn't McCarthy doing a private workout with Minnesota? Yes, I could see him going to Minnesota, but again, they'd have to trade up to be able to do it. If I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I'm loving the fact that J.J. McCarthy's stock is rising because the Cardinals have that number 4 pick, and I feel like what's the best for the Cardinals isn't getting Marvin Harrison Jr. It's about loading up on as much draft capital as possible. Jacob, the 3-legger parlay yesterday for college basketball hit. Very happy to hear it. Our college basketball picks have actually been doing really well over the last week, and I'm really happy about that because it means we're looking at the right data, the right trends, the right analytics going into the tournament. That's why we're going to cover the entire bracket this evening. Shane, any rookie running backs to look at in a heavy wide receiver draft? This isn't a great running back class. I think we're going to learn about some names that we haven't seen out on the kind of the surface of college football, some players that are from lesser known schools or lesser known situations, but right now, not a big running back class. It was a big running back free agency class, and that's kind of why it paired well for free agents. Okay, guys, here's the order of things. We're going to do NBA player prop bets first. Then we're going to go through our bracket. I have the bracket up, ready to go. We're going to go through every game using our data and analytics, so we will both pick the winner as well as give you an understanding of how we're going to bet every game of the first round of the NCAA tournament. So we've got a lot to get to. Let's start by looking at the player prop bets for tonight. Really quick, I'm just going to read off some of the injury report news across the NBA, just so you guys are aware of some of the information that's out there. Like I mentioned, in the Cavaliers and Pacers game, Donovan Mitchell has been ruled out. He is out along with Evan Mobley, Max Strus, and Dean Wade. So, Cavaliers are certainly shorthanded. For the Pacers, only Doug McDermott is out. Other than that, Pacers lineup is very, very healthy. That's the first game we're going to look at from a player prop bet standpoint. We want to look at when Darius Garland, let me get us ready for our player prop bets. As you guys know, we use Outlier for a lot of our sports betting research, especially our player prop bets. So if I go over to Outlier and I look up points, rebounds, and assists, we can immediately start to look at who's got the best matchups for tonight. Darius Garland has a decent matchup, not great, but let's take a look at it when Donovan Mitchell's been out of the lineup. No Donovan Mitchell tonight. I've been doing that more and more for player prop bets, and it served me well. Just looking if there are any trends with players under certain circumstances. So, interesting note. Donovan Mitchell's played 9 games on the road. Darius Garland's played without Donovan Mitchell 9 times on the road this year. He's gone over 22.5 points 5 of those 9 times. If I were to bring that line down to 19.5 points, he's hit that in 7 of those 9 games. The games he missed were against Charlotte, where he got 19 points, and the Hawks, where he got 15. Kind of an interesting bet. Darius Garland over 19.5 points. Definitely one that I would actually throw in the bin and put it in my cart for the moment. The Cooper movie. Remember when all the Lakers starting 5 was ruled inactive due to injuries and illnesses a year ago? Yeah, I do remember that. Kind of crazy. Let's take a look at some of the other trends that we like in this game. Some of the other matchups. So shooting guard has a good matchup. Small forward, power forward, center on assists. Let's look at Niang. Niang, the power forward. He's got a good matchup on points. He's actually hit this fairly consistently over the last few games. Let's see without Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, though. If we could get Georges Niang over 9.5, nah, it's not a good enough play. It's not a good enough play. I don't want to reach on anything. By the way, Tristan Thompson back from suspension. Kind of interesting there. Let's take a look at rebounds for Tristan Thompson. It's set at 4.5. His suspension ended the other night. I forgot about that. His rebound total set at 4.5. I kind of like it. It's actually a decent spot. That's Tristan Thompson over 4.5 rebounds. Just kind of interested by it. Let's go flip it around for everybody. Hector likes Niang for 15 plus. That's an interesting take. Tristan Thompson getting to 5 rebounds. Kind of an interesting one as well. I'd be willing to throw that one actually in the bin. Let's flip it around. For the Pacers, who's got some good matchups tonight? Tyrese Halliburton does not. Miles Turner does on rebounds. Ryan, not so much on points. He's got a tough matchup on points, actually, but a decent one on rebounds. Let's take a look at Miles Turner on rebounds. He's been right around 7 or 8. His total set at 7.5. If I were to take this at 6.5, he's hit that in 7 of his last 10 games. At home, 8 of his last 10. In fact, 8 straight games, he has gone over 6.5 rebounds. Head to head, he has gone over this total 5 straight games against the Cavaliers. I'm going to put this one on the board. This is going to be the first player prop bet that we put up on the board for everybody. That's going to be Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds. Miles Turner over 5.5. Is it 5.5? No, it's 6.5. Forgive me. Over 6.5 rebounds. Take it over 5.5 if you want the parlay play. So Miles Turner, like that one. Someone's asking about LeVert. Let's take a quick look at LeVert while we have the opportunity to. I'm actually not seeing LeVert up on the board. Not seeing LeVert in my research, so not going to go with it. We're going to move on. Next game, Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. Jimmy Butler is a game-time decision. No Tyler Hero, no Nikola Jokic, no Kevin Love for the Miami Heat. Again, Jimmy Butler game-time decision after he missed their last game. Bam Adebayo getting that game winner last night. On the other side of things, Tobias Harris is a game-time decision. Covington out, Embiid out, Melton out. Those are the names to know. Tyrese Maxey is playing. Kyle Lowry is playing. Kelly Oubre is playing. Tobias Harris, game-time decision for the 76ers. Let's take a quick look now at this game from a player prop bet standpoint. Bam Adebayo. Talked about him yesterday. No Jimmy Butler. Let's see what the matchup is for him. He's got a good matchup when it comes to points. We didn't take him on points yesterday, and we should have. He hit 20 points yesterday on the road. He's hitting 6 out of his last 10. Again, let's look at it when Jimmy Butler does not play. He's gone over 20 points in 6 of his last 10 games on the road without Jimmy Butler. Head-to-head against the 76ers. Adebayo has gone over 19.5 points in 3 of his last 4 games against the 76ers. But in Philadelphia, just 1 out of his last 3. Not crazy about that. Let's look at some other matchups that we may like in this game for either the Heat or the 76ers. Not a lot of matchups for the Heat that I really like. Let's flip it around. Let's look at the 76ers. Not a lot of matchups in this game overall that I like. Buddy Hield's got a good one on rebounds. Funny enough. You can get Buddy Hield at over 2.5 rebounds at a decent spot, but not enough for me to take it. Okay. Gonna move on from Miami Heat and 76ers. Didn't catch my attention. Let's take a look at the Celtics and the Pistons. A lot of news coming out of this one. Porzingis, game-time decision. Jaylen Brown, game-time decision. Jason Tatum, game-time decision. Sam Hauser, coming off a massive game yesterday. He is out. Drew Holiday is out. Al Horford is out. Clearly, Joe Mazzulla is giving his Celtics a lot of rest. No reason to play guys unnecessarily. So with that said, a lot of Celtics are out of this game. On the other side, Cade Cunningham is game-time decision for the Detroit Pistons. Quentin Grimes is out. Ausar Thompson is out as well. But Cade Cunningham, game-time decision. Let's take a quick look. Derek White is playing in this game. Let's take a look at Derek White's numbers. Derek White doesn't have a great matchup, but without Drew Holiday in the lineup, he becomes much more of a point guard than a shooting guard. So let's take a look at when Drew Holiday has been out of the lineup. How is he done? We want to look at points without Drew Holiday. He has got his point total set at 15.5. If I move that down just slightly, Derek White over 14.5 points has hit in 8 of his last 10 games played without Drew Holiday in the lineup. At home, his last 4 games straight, I would take Derek White over 14.5 points. I'm going to put that up on the board as well. Derek White over 14.5 points. I do like that one. One of the reasons I'm actually big on that play in part is just because the fact you don't have Drew Holiday. They're going to rely on him a whole lot more. I wish I could also get him on an assist total, but not a great matchup against the Detroit Pistons. Now, if Jaylen Brown plays or Tatum plays, this should be a very good matchup for either one of them, but we don't know if they will. Jason Tatum played well, obviously, last night, but it's been Jaylen Brown who's been on a bit of a heater lately. Let's take a look at how he's done on points. He has gone over 26.5 points in 7 of his last 10 games overall. At home, though, just 3 of his last, he's hit it in 3 of his last 4, but prior to that, hadn't hit it in his last 7 prior to that. Take a look at Jaylen Brown on points. I think a good spot to take him would be at like 23.5. I think Jaylen Brown is going to score some points in this one. So if Jaylen Brown plays, I like Jaylen Brown as well. Jerome, did you already go over NBA team picks, game picks? Yes, I did. We'll do a quick recap of all of those in just a bit. For all of those watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can see all of our picks up on the board. But we're sticking with our research for now. Looking at player prop bets. If Cade Cunningham plays, he's got a phenomenal matchup. I'll look at it in terms of points. Cade Cunningham over 18.5 points. It's been a pretty strong trend over the last few weeks. Thanks, Ranger. Really strong trend on the road as well. Last 20 games, 14 of his last 20. Head-to-head against the Celtics. He did hit it in 1 of 2. I would take Cade Cunningham over 18.5 points. Now, he is listed as questionable, so obviously I'm kind of hoping he plays, but over 18.5 points if he does lace him up tonight. Let's keep going through our research. Next game is going to be Trailblazers and Bulls. Injury report for this game: Alex Caruso, game time decision. Kobe White, game time decision on the other side for the Portland Trailblazers. Thibault, game time decision. Jeremy Grant, game time decision. Shaedon Sharpe out. Okay, let's take a look. Alex Caruso, again, game time decision, so we're not going to look at him as much. But DeSumo, let's take a look at that. He's got a good matchup when it comes to rebounds. It hasn't been a great trend. How about at home? Much better trend at home. Oh, love that. Let's take a look when Alex Caruso's been out of the lineup. How is it done? Man, not as good, actually. You would have thought he would have played better with Alex Caruso out, but it's simply not the case. I want to look at DeMar DeRozan. He's got a great matchup in this game. DeMar DeRozan, when it comes to points and rebounds, has a really good matchup. His point total set at 24.5. Don't love that. If I took it at 22.5, still not crazy about it. At home, it's actually not been a great trend. So not going to take that. What about on rebounds? DeMar DeRozan rebounds. That has hit the last 2 straight games against the Portland Trailblazers. It's actually been a decent trend over the last 10 games. DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 rebounds. That's a good play. Putting it up on the board as well. DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 rebounds. We follow the trends. We look at the data. This one, good play. Yep, I'll take it. Over 3.5 rebounds for DeMar DeRozan. Continuing to go through our player prop bet research, we're going to flip it over here to the other side. Let's take a look at the Trailblazers. Any good matchups for them? Power forward has a good matchup. Power forward. Kamara, he's got a good matchup on points. Kamara over 7.5 points. 6 of his last 10. 11 of his last 20. Head-to-head, failed on the road. It's actually been a good trend on the road. Wow. Tomani Kamara over 7.5 points is actually a good trend based on the data. Yeah, based on the data, that's what we're seeing. How does Cade Cunningham look? I like him more on points. Assists is an interesting idea. Cade Cunningham, when it comes to assists, interesting thought. but don't love the matchup when it comes to it. It's okay. It's been a very good trend of late. Not as crazy about it. It's been such a good trend. I understand why you like it, but actually on the road, in his last 20 games, it's only cashed in 8 of his last 20. Head-to-head against the Celtics, 1 of his last 2 on the road. I'm not crazy about it. Cade Cunningham, I like him more personally on points. I understand it's been such a good trend. I understand why you're thinking about it at the 7.5. Really quick, let's do a recap of all of our NBA game picks so far. NBA game picks, let's do a recap, everybody. Celtics on the money line, parlay it. Pistons plus 17.5. Pistons Celtics under 228.5. Heat plus 5.5. Heat 76ers under 213.5. Pacers on the money line. Bulls on the money line. Trailblazers and Bulls over 208.5. Timberwolves minus 3.5. Warriors minus 2.5. Knicks and Warriors under 216.5. Lakers on the money line, and Hawks Lakers over 219.5. For the NHL, we've given out Flames on the money line, Capitals Flames over 5.5 goals. And so far, our player prop bets that we like are Miles Turner over 6.5 rebounds, Derek White over 14.5 points, Cade Cunningham over 18.5 points, and DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 rebounds. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the show so far. We've got a lot still to get to. We're going to do our player prop bet research, see that through. Where can you see the picks? DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. We'll hook you guys up with a link and a referral code so you can see every bet that I make every single day for free. Never charge for my picks because you guys, you work hard for your money. You shouldn't be spending your money on somebody else's picks. I love doing this research, so just DM me on Instagram. I give away the picks for free. Carlos, you like Heat today? 5? Yep, I do. Plus 5. I think that's a great spot to take them. Anthony Edwards is where we're going to look for our next play. Just looking at matchups across the board. Rudy Gobert's got a good matchup on points. Let's take a quick look at that. Injury report for this Timberwolves and Jazz game. Lauri Markkanen, game time decision. Jordan Clarkson is out. Kyle Anderson, Rudy Gobert, game time decisions. So if Gobert plays, he might be a decent play on points. He's got a good matchup there. Hasn't been a very good trend, at least at home. On the road, it's been better. Over 11.5 points, but there's not a lot of value there. Yeah, not a great play. As it turns out, Rudy Gobert, not the play that we want. How about Jaden McDaniels, power forward? He's got a good matchup on points. Jaden McDaniels, don't like it at the 10.5. Over 9.5 is slightly better. How about on the road? Better. Head-to-head against the Jazz. He's done a decent job. I like it at the 7.5, at the 9.5. I like it more at 8.5. Jaden McDaniels over 8.5 points. I do think that cashes. Jaden McDaniels over 8.5 points. I'm willing to put that up on the board. Let's keep going through it, everybody. DM me on Instagram if you're missing any of the picks. We'll make sure you get them before tip-off. Lauri Markkanen, if he plays. No good matchup there. Okay, we can breeze through. Next game, Grizzlies and Kings. Domantas Sabonis. He's got a great matchup when it comes to rebounds. Domantas Sabonis, when it comes to rebounds, phenomenal matchup. Over 13.5 has hit in 8 of his last 10 games, 7 of his last 10 home games, 11 of his last 20 games overall at home. Not great, actually, on that one. And head-to-head hasn't been as good against the Grizzlies, but injury report against the Grizzlies for the Grizzlies tonight certainly impacts it. A lot of members of the Grizzlies are out. Jaren Jackson is playing, interestingly enough, but Williams out, Clark out, Kennard out, Pippen out, Rose out, Smart out, Stevens out. Just a whole plethora out. Domantas Sabonis, I like it at over 13.5 rebounds. I'm going to put it up on the board. Domantas Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds. So another bet for you guys. Another player prop bet that we're putting up on the board. So far, the player prop bets we've given out are Miles Turner over 6.5 rebounds, Derek White over 14.5 points, Cade Cunningham over 18.5 points, DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 rebounds, Jaden McDaniels over 3.5 points. Jaden McDaniels over 8.5 points, and Domantas Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds. Okay, continuing going through Knicks and Warriors. Next one we're going to look at. Any good matchups for the Warriors? I think Andrew Wiggins has a good matchup, or is he out still? Andrew Wiggins, he's back. Yeah, Andrew Wiggins has a good matchup tonight when it comes to points. So Andrew Wiggins over 11.5 points. Good trend at home. Hasn't been great of late. Would like that to be better. He's got a good matchup, though, against the Knicks. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Andrew Wiggins over 11.5 points. I think that's a low spot. I like that, just given where it is. Opened at 11.5, has gone up to 12.5, since come back down. I like it at the 11.5. If you want to take it at the over 10.5, I get it. So another player prop bet there. Any other ones that we really like? Not really for the Warriors side. How about the Knicks side of things? Jalen Brunson, he's got a good matchup when it comes to points. Jalen Brunson, head-to-head against the Warriors, though, hasn't had a lot of history success. Actually, a reason to avoid this one. He's got a great matchup, but sometimes the matchup don't match the trends. We're not going to chase it. Any other ones that we like for the Knicks? Dante DiVincenzo on points? Nah. Nothing else that we like on this. So we've got one more for you. Hawks and Lakers. Let's look at LeBron James. Some good matchups here. LeBron James on assists. Really good trend here. LeBron James over 7.5 assists is a must bet. That has been cashing consistently. LeBron James over 7.5 assists. That's a great trend. Great trend there. That has cashed in 10 straight games, over 7.5 assists. That's cashed in 16 of its last 20 games at home, 14 of his last 20. That's LeBron James over 7.5 assists. You can get that at minus 225 on DraftKings, minus 240 on FanDuel, minus 265 on Caesars. But you certainly can just put that into some parlays. LeBron James over 7.5 assists. That is a great play. Great play. Wow. Jump on board with that one, folks. I'd take over 8.5, by the way. For all those that are like, would you take it at the line that's being offered? Yeah. That is a great spot. Great spot. LeBron James, when it comes to points, set at 25.5. Don't like that nearly as much. Over 22.5 feels like the much better play. I'd be willing to take over 22.5 for LeBron James. So that is another spot that I would take. LeBron James over points, over rebounds. Those are good ones. Those are good ones. I also do like D'Angelo Russell in this game. D'Angelo Russell's been balling. Injury report for the Lakers. Davis and James are game time decisions, but that's been a consistent trend in and of itself. At home, D'Angelo Russell, 7 of his last 10, he's gone over 17.5 points. I take it over 14.5. That's where I really like it. I think D'Angelo Russell will get to 15 points. Can he get you to 16? Probably. I'd probably take it on both spots. But the safer one here, D'Angelo Russell over 14.5 points. We're going to flip it around. We're going to quickly look at the Hawks really quick. And we'll look at DeJounte Murray just as a starting point to look at the matchups. He's got a good matchup on points. So let's take a look at that. DeJounte Murray on points. Right now, I really like it at like over 20.5, but that's not a very good spot overall to take it on the road. It's been a good trend, but we don't want to look at it there. How about over 22.5? It's not a great trend. It's not a bet that I really want to make. I don't really want to take anything on the Hawks, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe I'll look at Hunter or Clint Capella. Let's look at Clint Capella. Does he have a good matchup? With rebounds, he does. Clint Capella has a good matchup with rebounds. That's been a consistent trend. Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds. That's a good bet. Yeah. No, that's a good bet. Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds. I'll put that one on the board as well. Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds. Okay, that's going to be our player prop bets for everybody out there. We are going to stop the show. We are going to stop it. I'm going to post all these bets. I'm going to post them on SHARPZ. I'm going to post them on Instagram. That way you can see all of them. So we're going to stop the show right now. Then I'm going to come back live. And when we come back live, we will do nothing but college basketball bracket building. So we're going to spend the next couple of hours going through every game of the first round of the NCAA tournament to build our perfect bracket based on trends, data, and analytics. So we're going to stop down on the show now. We're going to sign off for 5 minutes maybe. Then we're going to come back live. I just want to post these bets in case any of you guys missed them. If you guys want any bet that I make, DM me on Instagram, @ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram, @ButtFumbleSports. I give away my picks for free every single day. So again, we're going to stop the show. We're going to go back to we're going to post all of our picks. Come back. We'll join us in like 5 minutes. I'll tell you by we're right now at 5:45. By 5:50, we should have all of our bets set, and we'll come back live, and we'll do nothing but college basketball. So everyone who's watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, no matter the platform you're watching, you can go find my bets right now, or you can go see all of my picks. Just DM me on Instagram, and then we'll talk some college basketball. Okay, guys? I'll be back in just a minute. See you guys.